My wheels came in, so I've got these TR37s from NOBL. I went and ordered them, I don't know, about 4 weeks ago. So they came pretty quick. And let's unwrap them and have a look. Ooh. So let's get a look at these guys, eh? So I went with the TR37, which is their all-mountain or enduro rim. And I went with the gold decals, the gold crown inset, and I got gold nipples on here. And I think they look awesome. Super stoked with how these come out. I'm going for a gold and black type look on my altitude. And I think they even put on a valve stem that's pretty close to gold there. Matches the Kashima almost. So yeah, so my bike's going with a black and gold theme, I guess you could say. I got some odds and ends on there to make it look pretty good. So I changed out the decals on the fork and the shock to gold, or sorry, Kashima. And I've got a Cash Money colored race face stem. And I've got the Cash Money accents on my grips. Put a gold chain on there. Yeah, I think it's going to look pretty good. The rims themselves are... They've got like different specs for the front and the back. So the width, or the internal width on the front is 31 millimeters. They weigh about 450 grams, I think, for the 20. No, that's for the 27.5. So something like that. They're not very heavy. I don't have all. No, that's right. 450 for 29, 430 for 27.5s. I've got cush core in both of my wheels, so it'll have a little bit of width on that as well. The rear is 30 millimeters. I'm not sure why. I'm not an expert on it, but either way, it's supposed to help with the way the tire hooks on. The rear wheel is thicker than the front because, I mean, you do most of your damage on the rear wheel anyway. And the hubs I went with were the, let's see here, the 101s. I was going to go Hydra, but I don't really like the sound of the Hydra hubs. And I know a lot of people think that's dumb, but I don't really care. I thought it was a bit too loud. Even if you put the grease in there and you dampen it, I think it's a bit too loud for me. And I mean, the difference in engagement for your, let's be honest here, I'm a mediocre mountain biker. I'm not going to notice instant engagement versus 4 degrees, 90 points of engagement, which is what these guys have, the 101. And I'm going from a DT Swiss 350 with the 54 tooth ratchet. So those were, 54 points of engagement, and they were perfect. I thought they were great. So this is going to be an even tighter feel. Not quite as tight as the Hydra, they say, but like I said, I am far from a professional, and I like the way these guys sound. So let's give it a little spin. Yeah, I mean, I think that sounds pretty good. I like it. It's not too loud at all. It's not that much different than the DT Swiss sound that I have now. But I mean, realistically, the sound doesn't and shouldn't matter. I went with the heavier race spokes, and I did that because I'm pretty hard on the gear. I ride it as hard as I can. And again, right, I'm not a professional, but I've broken a couple aluminum rims, and I figured I'd switch it up, go with carbon, and see how that feels. So they should be a lot stiffer, but I think these TR37s are a little more vertically compliant than something like the WR1 Unions. Now, I was going to go with the Unions, and the only reason I didn't was because of the way these guys look. That little sine wave that's in there, I love that. I think it's sick. And I'm not saying that the WR1 Unions don't look awesome either, because they do. I know a bunch of guys that have them. It was a coin toss, really, but you could customize these decals more. And I could really make it look the way I wanted it to look. And that's why I got them, because that's the way I wanted it. So yeah, sue me. I think they're awesome. I can't wait to get the bike built up again. As soon as the bike's built up, I'm going to do a bike check video A couple guys have been commenting on my bike, and I think that's pretty awesome. I love the way the bike looks as well. The next thing I'm putting on there, and they're ordered and on their way, are the TRP Evo DHR brakes, and they're the gold ones as well. So this thing is going to look so sick when I have it and it's ready to go. Yeah, so I have a carbon frame on my aluminum now, thanks to Rocky Mountain, because there was an accident with my aluminum frame and it broke. But they were good enough to replace it with a carbon frame. I'll talk more about that in the last video. It's actually a pretty frigged up story. But yeah, that's my new wheels, and I'm pretty stoked about it. So, you know, these little victories are helping me with the concussion. If you can't ride your bike, you might as well spend ridiculous amounts of money on it. And, you know, the concussion's getting better. It's been about 2 weeks and a day now, so I'm still up and down all over the place with the anxiety. But, shit, it's not as bad as it was last week, so it's, you know, it's getting better. It still sucks. But, you know, I'm not trying to cry a river over it or anything. But, yeah, I mean, a lot of guys commented on that video that I put out there, and I really appreciated that. It really helped. It really did, man, because it's pretty screwed up when you're sitting there in your head thinking about that crap. And everybody, I know, to some degree, goes through that crap. So, you know, I'm not special, or I'm not, you know, looking for any type of poor me business. But yeah, it does kind of suck. It's getting better. And thanks a million for everyone who actually watched that video and actually commented. That was, you know, it's nice to see a little bit of hope in humanity these days. Anyhow, soon I'm hoping I'll be making mediocre footage again and getting back into it. So, cool. Thanks. Hope you guys are doing well.